Matchday Live is back at Villa Park today as Unai Emery's side entertain this season's surprise package, Nottingham Forest. Villa looking to build on back-to-back 3-0 away wins this week after brushing past Preston North End and Brighton and Hove Albion.
Outside of him, here he is into the penalty box. Mukadini into his Rashford! Marcus Rashford with his first goal for Aston Villa. Slots it home, stalls his run, waits, watches. Oh, he slots it beyond Cornell. Neat finish to Marcus Rashford. 2 goals for him, 2 goals for Aston Villa. Ramsey through the middle, Ramsey to seal it. Oh, Jacob Ramsey drills it home. That surely must be that. Aston Villa into the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Rogers seems to run forward to Marcus Rashford. The Rashford moves in here. Marcus Rashford for Aston Villa. Just beyond the goalkeeper and into the back of the net. Towards Cash. Turning the ball forward, looking for more than Rogers now. Rogers closing into the penalty box. Watkins and Asensio arrive. Oh, Watkins has done it down. Asensio! It's 2-0 to Aston Villa. Asensio in towards Marlon. Marlon with a narrow angle. He finds the corner. That wraps it up.
Yes, it's been quite the last couple of games, hasn't it, for Aston Villa. Welcome along to Matchday Live. My name is Kate Tracey, and alongside me, 2 former Villians, Stiliyan Petrov and Ahmed Elmohamady. Lads, we're back at Villa Park in what has been an age, it feels like, Elmo.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I was last time I was here against Bruges. It was a great night for us, and of course now in the quarter-final in the Champions League, it's been great. You know, last week 2 away wins, Preston in the FA Cup. Gets us to a semi-final at Wembley now, so the fans deserve the trip to Wembley. So it's great to be in this position at the moment. Great win against Brighton, one of the toughest team. You know, they've been playing brilliant last few weeks. So yeah, it's all good. Looking forward to the game tonight. It's going to be a good one.
Silly, could you ever have imagined the start of the season we were going to be saying Aston Villa in the semi-finals of the FA Cup, quarter-finals of the Champions League, still vying for a Champions League place in the Premier League? It's dreamland.
Yes, I think so.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I don't think it's a surprise. I mean, the way the club has developed and you know, moving forward with Unai Emery, with Monchi, with the players that were brought to the club, I don't think it was a surprise. I think people were probably looking for a longer term for those results to come up, but Unai Emery has really put his foot on the team, what he wanted from the team. He brought the right players, the right result. That was the main thing, getting the right results. And it seems like every player who comes to this club and comes through the club develops, plays well, and fits into the system and what Unai Emery wants to do.
And you talk about the development, you talk about the whole system, the club as a whole. Of course, it hasn't just been a fantastic week for the first team, Elmo, this week. We're going to get more into it a little bit later about the young Lions, but as an overall point for direction that the club is going in, Aston Villa through and through is success.
Of course, yeah, you can see, you know, in every club you can see the system, and under 23s now are playing absolutely fantastic, getting to the winning against Manchester United, one of the biggest team in the country, here at Villa Park. So yeah, it's all good for everyone. First team, you know, like you mentioned, quarter-final in the Champions League, semi-final in the FA Cup. So it's a great month to look forward to. It's a lot of games coming in a very short period of time. So the good thing about this month, you know, all the players are fit, no one injured, you know, which is good for the manager to select. I know you're gonna touch on the lineup in a few seconds, but for the manager, it's a great thing, you know, to have full squad to choose from, which is great for everyone. A lot of competition to play for. Of course, you know, it's going to be a busy month for everyone involved with Aston Villa.
And it seems like Unai Emery, he don't worry about when he makes changes.
No.
It seems like he's quite comfortable. It seems like everybody who steps in, who has been given the opportunity, does perform, does do the job on the pitch, and that's why the results have been great. And where Villa stand in the Champions League, the FA Cup, in the league, I mean, it's exciting because the fans looking into every competition now. It's not just what we're going to do in the league, how we're going to perform, or can we get the European players. Now you've got 3 opportunities to get a European football next season. And having bigger teams coming to Villa Park, this is what it's all about. And those European nights are really, really special.
It is, yeah.
Privilege, isn't it? Exactly what you want, because even though we're talking about the fixture congestion, how many games that Aston Villa have got, this is exactly what you play for ultimately. And of course it's Nottingham Forest who come here, who are also vying for one of those Champions League places, Elmo.
Of course, yeah, you know, Forest has been fantastic this season. They got a good manager, great players. But you know, if you look at to the teams now, you know, competing for that spot in the top 4, it's a lot of teams. It's not just 2 or 3. It's like 7 teams competing. You can tell, you know, everyone wants to play in Europe. So it's been fantastic for the club, especially the fans now, you know, flying in Europe and enjoying their time. And as well, the results has been fantastic. So it's been fantastic time for the club. And like you mentioned, you know, the players are coming in January as well. They've been doing fantastic. You touch on all of them. Malin got his goal on Wednesday. Rashford scored 3 goals in the last week. So everyone is been involved. Asensio has been fantastic, scoring 8 goals in 7 games. So everyone now seems like they're enjoying their moments at Aston Villa. So I think this is down to the manager and all the people, you know, and the coaching staff as well, because they've been working so hard in the training ground.
And you know what's interesting to see, Elmo, it's about the clubs like Nottingham Forest and Villa doing the right things, and they're doing the right things because the gap up at the top 4 used to be Man United, there used to be Man City after
Arsenal,
Liverpool. But now it's different because every single team in the modern football now, they bring the right manager with the right style of play, right philosophy, the good sporting director who can work and be aligned with the style of play, what the manager needs. That's what Aston Villa has done perfectly. But Nottingham Forest will be a tough game today because they've got a good manager. They're very adaptable playing away. I mean, they won 54% of their games away, and they kind of adapt their system. They're solid defensively. They can battle. They can fight through the game, and it seems like they've got the responsibility of we have to stay in the game as long as we can, and we have to take our opportunities. But today will be completely different because Villa have got a lot to play for. I mean, next couple of weeks is going to be huge. I mean, this is going to be the Rubicon of the season. I mean, you're going to be playing Man City, you're going to be playing Newcastle, you're playing Nottingham today, and you've got 2 games against Paris Saint-Germain. So it's a big couple of weeks, and that's why Unai Emery has to manage the players and the team in the right manner.
Yeah, we're going to get on to team news in just a moment, but before then, Elmo, is this a cliche in itself, 6-pointer of a game for Aston Villa? Would you see it as that? I know that in terms of the table, there's a fair few places between Forest and Villa at present, but in terms of the points that are on offer, Villa have got a whole load of fixtures coming up with teams all in and around them. So to be able to take some points off of them, gain their own.
I don't think it's a 6-pointer game because Forest is a bit far from us, you know. So the teams around, Brighton was a 6-point game, so that was great result for us. But today is very, very important, like Stiliyan said, you know, about the teams around you. They are winning, like Chelsea winning on Thursday. So you need to keep that momentum, you know, of the winning. We won in the last 6 games in all competitions. So just keep that momentum going to a very, very important period of the season. This month is massive for Aston Villa Football Club.
And it's going to be a lot of twists and turns until the end of the season. Yeah. I know people talking about the 6-pointer, how important this goal. It's about the moment you have to win that game or you have to get the maximum of that game. And it's a lot of games coming up, and it's about taking each game at a time, making sure that you've got the result, and it's the end goal. This is what it's all about, and I don't believe that Unai Emery will be worried about the result really today, because the performance have been good. He knows his team, he knows what the players can produce, and to be honest, the Brighton was the great example.
It is,
you know, the perfect result.
Yeah, it's all about the momentum. You know, when you keep winning games, it's all about how we're gonna keep that momentum going, because it's a very important month, like we said, in a different competition. So the manager knows every game is different. It's not like playing in the Premier League, like in the Champions League, like in the FA Cup. No, it's every game is different. So he knows exactly how to choose the players they're gonna win you this game in particular.
Right, lads. Now, you might have noticed that someone is missing from our usual Matchday Live lineup, the one and only Alan McAnally. But I'm delighted to say that Alan is still joining us via the power of technology, of course, from America. So, Alan, hopefully you can hear me. Whereabouts are you, if you can?
Hi, Kate. How are you? I'm in Charlotte. I'm actually in a brewing company called the Middle James Brewing Company in Pineville, Charlotte, North Carolina. And we're here for the British Lions meetup. There's a huge Aston Villa fans. In fact, hang on a minute. Turn the camera. Everybody say hi. That is.
I don't think the technology and Alan going well together.
That is the North American Lions Club. They're from Columbus, from San Francisco, from everywhere in America, and they've all come together for a meet-up. We're going to obviously watch the game. We're going to have a watch-along here with me. We've been here for a couple of days, and it's been absolutely fantastic. Brilliant by Mike and Andrew, who've been our hosts. And you know me, I thought if we're going to come to America, we're going to come to a brewing company, and the Middle James Brewing Company has been fantastic. I will mention just one thing. So Jared Liston, who's one of the organisers for the British Lions Club, and one of these other Lions Club, hopefully next year, they'll be playing host to exactly the same thing. We'll be doing an auction later on because of Aston Villa's charity, which is the Acorn charity, and we've brought some goodies for some of the guys that hopefully will be paying some money to take some nice stuff home with them and obviously raise money for the charity, etc. So it's been an absolutely brilliant time. The other reason, Kate, that we're here is we are launching the American Instagram at Aston Villa USA. So it's a brand new Instagram channel for Aston Villa. And as we become a global brand, we get bigger as a club. And obviously, hopefully the lads will do the business today and put us on the right track.
Yeah, I tell you what, you get all of the rubbish gigs, Alan, don't you? Oh, just as I was saying to him on the phone on the website, it's 18 degrees over here, and he said it's about 35 over there. So he gets all the tough gigs completely. So, Alan, who were you with yesterday? You had a special guest.
Well, yeah, I was hoping actually he'd be standing right next to me today, our very own Dean Smith, but he's obviously the manager of Charlotte FC now, and Charlotte have a game at 2:30 today here in Charlotte against Nashville. But he so kindly came along last night, so it was brilliant. Had lots of pictures. I did a Q&A with Dean last night about, you know, his situation at Charlton just now. He had his son with him as well, which was fantastic. And he took pictures and had a couple of beers and just relaxed last night before his game today. And not only that, he's a bit like me, because when I asked him what the score would be today, he said 2-0 Aston Villa. What's the score going to be today? See, I told you, he said 2-0, and it was the same as me, because I said 2-0 as well. I think we'll win today. I think the boys have done a nice little break. They showed on Wednesday night they were absolutely up for it with a fantastic result against Brighton, and it sets us up perfect today. So Dean was a brilliant guest last night, and as you can imagine, he's one of our own, got a few mentions last night. So let's hope, fingers crossed for Dean today in his match against Nashville, and obviously good luck to us today against Forest.
Is being in a brewery helping the hangover from last night, Alan?
I was hoping you wouldn't mention that. I told you not to say. If my wife's watching this, I told her I went to bed at 10 o'clock. Don't tell Hendrie either.
Your wife knows you better than that.
Well,
right,
yeah, exactly.
Alan,
I'm just going to mention this again seriously, because we are launching, I just want to make sure everybody gets this, we're launching our US Instagram channel. It's a big thing for Aston Villa. You know, we're growing as a brand and we're growing as a club. And in North America, there is so many Aston Villa fans in America, it's unbelievable. And the majority, as you can see, are here too. So it's at AVFC USA, just so we get that right. Sorry, Kate, I interrupted you. What do you want? Have you got the teams,
Not
by the way?
one bit. Yes, that's why I'd like you to say exactly where you are, but we are going to give viewers just a chance to go and follow that Instagram page as well. And Alan's on Instagram as well, so he knows exactly how it all works now on social media. But Alan, say exactly where you are, because I want to get your reaction on the team news, because we can now bring you that, starting with Aston Villa. Of course, Emi Martinez is in goal, and he takes the captain's armband for today as well. Axel Disasi comes back into the frame, the centre of defence, alongside Tyrone Mings. Yuri Tielemans, as always, in the starting 11. Ollie Watkins, Andres Garcia at right back. Donyell Marlon gets his start. Marco Asensio likewise. Ian Maatsen at left back. Amadou Onana also gets his start. And Morgan Rogers. Plenty of strength on the bench, though, as you can see from the game against Brighton in midweek. Now, in terms of Nottingham Forest, they have Matt Sells in a goal, the ever-present Matt Sells. Morato, Murillo, Nico Williams looks likely to be playing at right back today. Elliot Anderson, Morgan Gibbs-White, Callum Hudson-Odoi comes back in after missing out the other night due to personal reasons. Dominguez, Elanga, Ryan Yates, their captain, and Milenkovic again in the heart of defence there as well. So, Alan, I'd like to get your reaction, please, on Aston Villa's lineup. First and foremost, 8 changes.
Yeah, well, listen, you and I have spoken lots about the options that the manager has now, and of course we went through that little spell for 2 or 3 weeks where with players injured, and it was a needs must for a lot of times. But Onana coming back, and I'm really delighted Asensio is playing, because I think he generally has, and I've spoken to you about this before, a touch and a vision that maybe we haven't had necessarily in the middle of the park. Donyell Marlon come on, of course, and scored in, what was it, 97th minute. Delighted he gets an opportunity. So the position for places is so much stronger now. It really is. Watkins starts up top, and Garcia as well. So it means he trusts the fullback. His Matty Cash was absolutely brilliant. But remember, we've got some big games coming up, notably Champions League next Wednesday night. Don't worry, I'll be back for that. But it's a really good lineup. It's a strong lineup, and I think it's good enough for us to win. Just before we go,
Alan,
have we seen them? Have we seen them? Yes, sorry. Yeah. Hello, son. How are you doing?
Stiliyan Petrov, we miss you. Well, we don't really miss you. But just a quick one.
I wanted you. Sorry, carry on. I know.
8 changes. Do you think that's too much sometimes for a team when he fights for so many competition?
Well, you're asking me that question because you know how you and I think. Yes is the answer, because I guarantee I think you think it's too many changes. Because the momentum we had after the Brighton game was fantastic. But the manager, listen, he sees the lads in training all the time. Maybe somebody stepped up in the last couple of days that he thought he deserves a start. You don't know, and I know that the challenge for places is so much more. I think 8's a lot. But after all, he is Unai Emery. He's the gaffer. He makes the changes, and he thinks that this is the best way in our players today to get a result against Nottingham Forest. So, and like I said, we do have a big game on Wednesday, although I'm sure he's not necessarily thinking about that because this is such a big game today. But 8 is a lot still. You're right, it really is. But let's hope that doesn't matter, and there's still a continuity and a togetherness with the lads. But the changes don't make any difference, and we can win the game today.
Yeah, but Alan, I was looking for a short answer, but you're always expanding. I love that.
No, you were not.
Listen, hang on a minute.
Come on, Alan, it's kick-off time. Come on.
No, I was going to say, I was just going to order myself a beer. Because I thought Stiliyan was going to go longer than that.
Alan, listen, you've been an absolute star.
Right, just stay right there. I know you've got plenty of time because you're probably on till 15:15. Everybody, turn the camera. Say bye to Villa Park.
Oh, big thank you so much to all of those people there for the turnout. Fantastic turnout, and the amount of shirts as well. That is full out. So, Alan, thank you so much to you and everyone there. We will catch up with you again very soon. But enjoy the game and hoping for 3 points. A big thank you there to Alan McAnally. And we've replaced Alan with Lee Hendrie. I would say like for like, but I don't know if that's going to be offensive or not.
Please don't even insult me there.
How was your journey?
Oh, it was so bad. It took me an hour and a half to get into the ground, but I'm here now, the Fortress.
Looking forward to a big game.
Can't wait, yeah.
Yeah, it is going to be, isn't it? A huge game. As you can see, that Forest keepers are all warming up behind us. What are your main expectations, first and foremost, today?
I think what's at stake at the moment, we're just sitting so pretty in the league at the moment, and there's a lot at stake where we can sort of cover some ground on Forest as well, and you know, you just think we're in touching distance from that top 4, top 5, which is absolutely unbelievable, really. And the run we're on at the moment, you just feel that everyone's back fit, everything looks really hunky and dory. So, you know, I feel today's a big game for us. I really do, particularly going into the Champions League next week.
You teed that up beautifully because, as you say, the run that Villa are on, because of course we know who we're going to be facing in the semi-finals of the FA Cup at Wembley, because of course Aston Villa booked their place in that semi-final on Sunday with their win over Preston North End, and will play Crystal Palace on Saturday the 26th of April, 5:15 at kickoff, so make sure to try and get your tickets then for that game. And of course Ollie Watkins gave us his thoughts on the back of that quarter-final success.
Them games are never easy, you know, especially being away. You know, Preston had every man behind the ball and was making it very difficult for us in the first half, so it was always going to take a little bit of time to break them down, and I think the boys did that really well. Second half it opened up, and then yeah, there's quick fire goals, to be honest. 3 goals in the space of 15-20 minutes, and yeah, saw the game out, professional performance like you said, and yeah, everyone was really pleased. I think that's the goal since I joined here, is always to win a trophy, and yeah, I've always had that in the back of my mind, and you know, it's very close now, so I think all us boys are doing all we can to, you know, try and make that happen, and yeah, just enjoy the process along the way. Yeah, you know, they're really difficult to play against since that manager's come in. They've done quite well against us, to be honest, and made it very difficult. So, yeah, we've definitely got our eye on that. A little bit of revenge. But yeah, exciting day for the club, all the players, the fans. You know, trip to Wembley is always nice.
Yeah, great to hear from Ollie Watkins, as it always is, and reflecting on the back of that success as well. But of course, Elmo, looking forward to playing Palace again. Been a bit of a bogey team of late, but Ollie's really looking forward to the challenge.
Of course, yeah, it's going to be a semi-final of the FA Cup, you know, at Wembley, so it's going to be a big occasion for everyone, especially the fans as well. So you mentioned Palace, last 3 games we lost 2, drew 1, so it's going to be a different one, this one, because it's FA Cup, anything can happen. And then, of course, you know, the momentum going now at the club is going to be absolutely massive for everyone. It was a great game against Preston, you know. We did very well. Rashford got his goals, a lot of confidence. Very good game against Brighton as well. So talking about the momentum, just keep that momentum going to this game is going to be massive for everyone.
And at a neutral ground as well, of course, being Wembley. If this was at Selhurst Park, Stiliyan, the challenge might look a little bit more tricky. It looks tricky enough as it is anyway, but Ollie's really looking forward to it.
Of course, you have to look forward to it. I mean, it's a great venue. I mean, not many teams got the opportunity to get to Wembley, and the Villa boys have been, in the last couple of years, been a couple of times there. So I think everybody's looking forward to that challenge. Crystal Palace, as I almost mentioned, will be a completely different game. I mean, it's one-off game. It's not, you know, a long season and you deal with injuries. Now Unai Emery has pretty much everybody available, so you have a lot to choose from, and it seems like the team, every single player in the team, he fights for his place. You have to be at your best. When you're given the opportunity, you have to be at your best. You can see we spoke about Rashford, Asensio, what they're going to bring into the team, that competition and that class. That's what they brought to the team. You can see everybody's reacting from it.
And we saw those notable players coming to fore against Preston Silly. Let's have a bit of a moment just to reflect on that. Professional is the way that Ollie Watkins described it there. Was it a professional performance?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, I think we're going into every single game now, and everything has to be right, doesn't it? You know, you look at the Preston game, and it's one of them where it was always a potential banana skin, I feel. You know, you're going into a cup game, and the expectations are, you know, we're Aston Villa, we should win the game. It's not always the case, is it? So it was, you know, it was all about being professional, as are the next coming games coming up. You know, I think this is a real, I always say it's the business end of the season where we can certainly achieve so much this season.
And great to see Rashford getting his first goal. He got a whole load of assists, as we know, since he's joined Villa, but getting his first goal against Preston, Elmo, is great to see.
Of course, he's been class since he came to the club. He's been unbelievable, a lot of assists, you know. So to get his first goal for the club was massive for him, you know. He played well with England as well in the international break. So as a striker or wide player, he's always looking for assist goals. So for him to get that smile on his face back, you know, after scoring that goal, and to be fair, you know, Asensio as well, top professional player, you know, he gave him the penalty to take it against Preston. You know, Asensio is the first player on that penalty. So to give it to him as well, to give him more confidence, was a class moment from Asensio to Rashford as well.
And for Rashford to take the ball by the horns and then to take up that penalty as well, to really stand up to it. Testament to him as well and where he is mentally at present.
I mean, we've all been players. It's all about confidence. It's all about enjoyment. And it seems like Rashford at the moment enjoys his role in the team. Since he came to the club, he's been really a revelation. He played in the wide areas. Obviously against Preston, he played up top. He gave a different dimension to the team. He's quick, he's powerful, he's very gifted. He does have the quality to play at high level, the top football, the world-class football. And he can definitely enjoy that and have an opportunity to take penalties. I mean, he used to take penalty for Man United, so it's nothing new for him. But when a player have a confidence, when he's enjoying his time, when the manager, the teammates trust you, it makes a huge difference.
And Lee, is it fair to say that when you bring in big characters, big names like that, it can often raise the level of the players around them? Because one of the players who we were really focusing in on when Rashford came, who potentially might be having his place jeopardised, was Jacob Ramsey. But for him too to come through with a goal against Preston was great to see.
Yeah, do you know something? It hit a really good point there. I think, you know, when you bring a high caliber player in, like Rashford, Asensio, you can add to that equation as well. You know, you're talking about top quality, and all it does is, I mean, as Stan just touched on, we've all been in the change room. It raises the bar, it really does. And when you're bringing in top class players, international players, you know, it literally goes through the change room because you feel that there's an incentive there to want to wear the shirt, to want to play in that team where they're amongst that. And I think the manager's done a brilliant job with that. You know, we're talking about Rashford playing in wide areas, the versatility. We're knowing that he can play through the middle, give Ollie a break. You know, at times there's a big onus on Ollie Watkins playing through the middle, but having Marcus to go and play through that middle and getting that goal, I mean, I feel that now he's got to kick on again. And I think he will do, and I think it's such a key time for him to go and get his goals for the football club, because he's come so close. His creativity's been there, and his versatility speaks for itself. But you know, like you said, you know, the likes of Ramsey really stepping up to the plate. You know, it's great to see, because everyone's chomping at the bit. Everyone wants a piece of the action, because we've got some top class players in there.
And from one 3-0 win to another 3-0 win at the Amex against Brighton. What are your overall thoughts there, Stiliyan?
Very, very professionally executed game. I mean, it was tough at the start, especially at the first half. Brighton were really lively, really sharp. But this is what it's all about, the big teams, big performances, little details. You have to stay in the game. You have to make sure that you give yourself a chance. I mean, the first goal was perfectly executed. It's like by the book. I mean, the pass from Morgan Rogers and the execution from Marcus Rashford was incredible. I mean, you don't see many players in this situation who will burst and will sprint 70 yards to go and get into that space. But this is Marcus Rashford. He knows his strength. He knows what the players can do. But this is the perfect example. Look at this. No, this is the perfect
and this vision
pass.
At this point, this pass.
Morgan Rogers, he has that. But he's still got a lot to do. This is just composed. A little bit lucky, I would say. But he'll take any goal at the moment. But it's a perfect way to finish the attack. But this is what it's all about. Look at the speed, the Villa. They're already moving. Marcus Rashford, this is a nearly 70 yards sprint, which he knows what he wants. And Morgan Rogers with one great clip over the top, and it's a perfect finish.
Because we associate Villa with the slower, methodical build-up play. But sometimes, Elmo, to catch a team like that with just a couple of passes straight through to get Rashford.
So the manager knows exactly how Brighton like to keep the ball in possession and everything. So you need to change sometimes your style of play. So it's a great from Emmy as well to start the play quick, and then, you know, we all know what Morgan likes, you know, great pass from him, and the Rashford is great finish from him as well. You look at the second goal, it's exactly the same, you know. Cash is a great ball to Morgan, you know, behind their back line, and then Asensio scored. So here you go, just use the space behind their fullback, and then, you know, Morgan, big Asensio, and Asensio, he will never ever miss from that, you know. So it is, yeah. It is, yeah. His confidence now, he's, like I said, you know, he scored 8 goals in the last 7 games. So it's about game management, you know, who's your own position, how they play, and then how you're going to hit them, you know. So I think it's coming from the manager. Listen, guys, you know, they are pressing us high, so use the space behind them. We have a lot of players that can run behind, Rashford, Morgan, Asensio, all of them can run behind. So I think this was a great, you know, strategy from the manager to use that, running behind their fullbacks and use that space from them.
You know what's really interesting? It's good to have a great manager. We have to bring the players with the quality to execute those moments, to make sure that when you're in that position, I mean, Morgan Rogers, not many players will hit that pass, in the right areas where Marcus Rashford run. And the second goal, I mean, Morgan Rogers again, he don't hesitate to attack that space. Marty Kashi, just one ball. Sometimes football's lead, Elmo, it's just simple. It's just a simple thing. But you do need the players to make sure these little moments are executed in the right manner.
And as if 2 goals from January transfers wasn't enough, we've got a third one then from Donyell Marlon, a deserved one, Lee. After everything that he's gone through really since he's come here, he's been playing well, so it's fantastic to see him getting that goal.
Yeah, listen, you know, it's great to see him get his goal, and the thing is, it's, you know, I just, you know, I can't stop harping on about the strength and depth that we have at the moment, and when you've got the likes of Marlon who can come on and make that impact. You know, Ollie didn't even play. You've got Marcus through the middle. We've got so much attacking threat at the moment, and it's, as I said, I think, you know, I'm just going back to the point that we touched on in the change room. Everyone wants a piece of it. Everyone wants to be wearing the shirt at the moment, and that's what the manager's got a great problem at the moment, which is a good problem for him to have, because everyone's buying into his methods, his ways, and it's great to see that he gets his goal, because you know what, since he's come into the club, he's gone off the radar a little bit because of the likes of Rashford and Asensio coming in. He's a very good player and he's a good addition to the
you know, Lee, as well, you know, everyone was happy for him to score. You know, you can see all the players after the game, you know, Morgan just pushing him to the fans. So just give him more confidence, you know. To be fair, you know, I felt sorry for him because he missed a penalty with Holland in that, you know, Nation League. So coming back and the manager give him more minutes and just, you know, give him more confidence, and that to get that goal, I was so delighted for him.
And, you know, I really, Elmo, I'm the same. I really feel sorry for him, you know, not being registered in the Champions League, coming to a new club. He's been given opportunity and he's been trying too hard, you know, to try to impress. But this goal is like a simple thing. You don't think, you just hit it. It's a great boost for his confidence, because at the moment he can relax, and especially with Rashford, Asensio coming in, performing so well. Everybody talking about them, not about Marlon, and it was a great, I think as a player, it's a great relief.
He is,
Just to have that moment, and that's why everybody's happy about it.
Yeah, and he can give the manager an option as well. He can play as a 9, he can play in a wide area, just a number 10. So it's great for him, and he got his chance today. He got his chance today as well. So it's a great chance for him to show everyone as well.
Multitasking is key there, Elmo. Lovely touch that you may not have just seen out of vision there from Elmo as he continued to make his point. I just want to bring that back, though, to what Elmo said. Can you talk to me about the versatility of Villa's front line? The fact that, as you say, Donyell Marlon can play a number 9, he can play on the right, Rashford coming in as the number 9, Ollie Watkins back in the starting lineup today. The versatility, how key is that?
It's absolutely huge. I think, you know, listen, you've got to defend first and foremost, but when you have that versatility through the front line, it's absolutely, I mean, listen, John Duran left the football club, and, you know, some might say it was a big miss. I'm not so sure, because of the style that we like to play. And I think, you know, you've got the likes of Marlon who can go and play through the middle, Rashford. Now, all of a sudden, we've got so many players that can sit on the bench and have that rest. And when called upon, you know, I mean, the gaffer can change completely the front line if he likes, because we have that much strength and depth in that forward area, and it's great to see. But I think what instigates that is having key players in behind. You know, your midfield are so massive in that team, because they pick them passes out, they get the influential players on the ball that are going to cause teams problems, and that is a great, I mean, listen, you ask any manager, if you've got that much attack in abundance, it's a great problem to have, and that's what we have at the moment. It's really key, I feel, going into this back end of the season.
And it's uncanny, isn't it? The fact that we've suddenly got nearly a fully fit squad, that the momentum has really come there as well, because 6 wins in a row now in all competitions, 5 out of 6 have been clean sheets as well, Stiliyan. It's uncanny. It can't be a coincidence that the form is really starting to find itself.
No, and we talked about it before. Villa conceding too many easy goals. Certain games they've really been really sloppy at the back. But the last 6 games have been really good, and he's down not just the defense. I think the work rate of the players. I think everybody has taken the responsibility of closing the opposition down earlier, making sure that the defenders are really compact, and it seems like it's been paying off. But today will be a completely different game because Nottingham Forest, they can adapt, they can adjust against the bigger teams. I mean, Lee, you've been watching them more.
Yeah.
They do sit back, they wait, they do have pace to hurt you. That's why the players, I mean, Tielemans, he has to be really on today as well. His position, protecting and making sure those gaps is not going to be enough for Nottingham Forest to explore it.
Now, we spoke about this at the top of the show, the fact that it's not just Unai Emery's men who are going so well at present, because, of course, Jimmy Shan's under-18s have booked their place in the final of the FA Youth Cup after their win over Man United on Monday night. And it went the distance, Elmo, but we talked about it earlier on with the youth side of the club as well. They had a fantastic night the other evening.
I think they saw the first team getting through, so they just, you know, they give them more confidence. But it was a great game for them. It was here at Villa Park. There was a lot of fans here watching the game, so it was a great moment. They're playing against a top club, Manchester United. They got some great players, so they took the game to penalties. And our goalkeeper, he had some great saves, you know.
Sam
so,
Proctor,
of course, yeah. So he had some great saves, and we're going through now to the final. So it was a great achievement for everyone. So we wish them luck in the final. It's going to be a great moment for them all.
There were some fantastic scenes, Stiliyan. I don't know if you saw, I can't for the life of me remember the name of the United player, but when he was walking up to take his penalty, giving a smile and a wink, and then it goes and gets saved. Here it is.
They've missed a lot of penalties.
Three, they missed 3.
No, but it's the mirror of the first team. This is what it's all about. These young players now, they're looking into the first team and what the first team is doing and the success, and people talking about where is Aston Villa at the moment. They want to be part of it, and you know, having that success on their own will give them a good boost to go back next year for pre-season, next season, to make sure they try to break into the first team.
And the finals here as well.
Well, listen, I mean, I've played in a few of the new FA Youth Cup games, and they are their special moment, and you can see that kind of, you know, the lads supporting and cheering when they win. They know they get to a final, which is fantastic for the football. It does show where the football club's actually going. You know, we've got a real stable platform from youth all the way through to the first team, and this is their time to shine. You know, they're great moments there, they really are, and I'll just echo what the boys have said. You know, congratulations and good luck in the final, because you know, it'd be a great time for them.
Definitely so. It was great to see that, wasn't it, and to be able to shed some light on what happened there the other day. So congratulations to the young Lions. But back to today's game, Unai Emery, as always, sat down yesterday with the media at Bodymoor Heath.
Good afternoon, Unai. Amazing to see Forest third in the table and chasing a Champions League place like yourselves. What do you make of the job Nuno Espirito Santo has done at Nottingham Forest?
Fantastic, not now, fantastic in his career as a coach. And here, especially here in England, Wolverhampton, he played fantastic football, being very, very competitive. They achieved to play in Europe as well. Now, after he was coming back again to Premier League last year, progressively getting better, and this year really fantastic how they are competing, how they are playing, how they are beating a lot of teams, getting points, doing the difference in the table with a lot of teams, and as well with us, and respect them a lot. And of course, after this respect, to analyze deeply how we can play tomorrow, more or less trying to impose, to dominate, to play better than them, to get individuals' performances as better as possible.
On the pitch, what sort of a challenge do you expect from them on the pitch?
On the pitch, a lot of collectively duels, individually duels. Of course, they are competing fantastic in everything, defensive, offensive, set pieces, throw-in, and as well getting duels. Of course, we have to try to to work everything as better as possible and play football, trying to get our best.
Always great to hear from Unai Emery, and of course he was full of praise for his opposite number, Nuno Espirito Santo at Stiliyan, and understandably so, because we talked about it earlier on. Forest are trying to achieve something that Villa have achieved last year as well, by just breaking into those top 6 teams there, and they've been able to do so, sat in 3rd, so he's full of praise for them.
Of course, and they've done it in style. I mean, they still haven't done it.
Yeah.
Let's see if they can do it. It's still a long way to go. And, you know, they've just been so consistent. This is what it's all about, you know, getting the results. They adapt their style very nicely. It seems like the team is working really hard. They're working really hard for each other. They're getting the right results at the right moment. But it's about performances. And it seems like Nottingham Forest has performed really well, been really consistent. And they do have a few individual players like Elanga, Gibbs White, you know, Chris Wood, who's obviously missing today. And, you know, they've got a few that they can make a difference in a game. And it seems like those big key players has made a difference this season so far.
And we were just talking then, well, as we were also listening to Unai Emery, but we were just talking then during that VT there about how little changes they've had. 23 players that they've had play for them across the season, 49 changes, very low on both counts. So I guess you can see it 2 ways. Are they able to gather consistency with that because they've got a team that unites and gels together week in, week out? Or is it going to, at some point, be some sort of unfolding for them?
Yeah, listen, you look at Forest, don't you, and they bought such an overload of players in when they came into the Premier League. I mean, it was a ridiculous amount of players, you touch a good point. I think last season we were quite similar to that. We kept our solid sort of starting 11, if you like. We've got the strength in depth now. You know, Stiliyan says they have got players that they can sort of look at the bench to bring on and obviously change that system. But I think when things are going so well, you find them partnerships defensively where they've been very, very good. They surrender a lot of the football. You know, there's no doubt that possession stats are just minimum, but they're sitting where they are in the league, which it proves that they're very good defensively. They've got a solid unit and they can counter-attack quite quickly, which we've seen do so many times this season. You know, I actually felt that they might break away from that, but I think when you have that consistency running through the team, it's starting 11 picks itself majority of the time, and you know what you're doing. You just stick to the game plan, and it's been successful for Forest this season.
Do you think the pressure will mount in the last couple of games? Because those players have never been in that kind of environment, this kind of situation. Do you think they'll play their part, or they'll just carry the moment and enjoy the moment?
Do you know what? I've actually thought this. I mean, you look at the season. I remember Leicester when they won the Premier League, and I always thought they're going to fall away, they're going to drop off, and they didn't. I think when you get that momentum flowing, I just feel that they will get to a stage where I think that they will drop off. And I do, and it's confident.
Get results sometimes of that.
Yeah, but yes,
been in it.
yeah.
You know, sometimes he don't play on air, but that momentum, that belief, just get you to the final line.
Well, it does, doesn't it? I mean, and looking at the season that they're having, and you must say that you're looking at managers who have produced quality this season. I mean, Nuno could be up there for manager of the season potential. Yeah. You know, if they go to a final, potentially, well, they'll lose to us if we get when we get there, obviously. But you know, you do feel what he's done is quite phenomenal. But you know, it's at that stage now where they're at catching point. But then you look at the flip side of it, and they can catch Arsenal. Arsenal dropping points, so they've got a bit of a carrot either end, haven't they? Really, where he must be just saying, boys, listen, can we catch Arsenal? Can we finish second? Can we finish runner-up in the Premier League? I mean, it'd be some achievement for them, and I do feel that momentum and the way that they have continued to do that this season, I just find it a hard breakdown, I really do.
Elmer, how do you beat them? Because they're almost the anti-football team. We know that they love conceding possession. In 11 of their wins this year, they've had 40% or less possession, yet the counter-attack, and they just seem to, as Lee said there, love defending.
Yeah, that's the thing about Nuno, you know, even when he was at Wolves, was the same thing about get his team, you know, organized, hard to beat, defend well, and just use that counter-attack because they got the players. They can hurt you on the counter-attack. You know, Elanga, Hudson-Odoi, Gibbs White. You know, I know they're missing Chris Wood. He's been fantastic for them this season. It's a big miss for them, but they can use that counter-attack. Last example was against Man United, you know, set pieces against them, and then they scored. Elanga has been fantastic as well for them. So we did very well against them in, you know, early the season in the first 60 minutes, and then after that, you know, the fans got behind them. I know we had that, you know, moment of VAR, you know, went against us, but we did very well. All you have to do is just use the ball very well, you know, be quick, don't make mistakes, and just be careful on the counter-attack, because they got a lot of players, they can hurt you, and they are quick, and then they use their ability, you know. So 1 against 1, you need to defend well today.
And don't forget, there's plenty of changes on the bench where you can make a difference today.
Yeah.
That could be the difference today. You know, after 60-65 minutes, you've got players who come on fresh with the quality and will bring more excitement to the team. So it's about how you manage the game, and it seems like Unai know how to manage his team and the games as well.
Yeah. Right, lads, the teams are just heading back in behind us, well, at least Villa are anyway, so it's nearly time for us to go. It's flown by today. It seems to go by a lot quicker when it's good weather out here, doesn't it, to be honest? So pretty much all that is left for me to do is to get your predictions. You're on the end, Elmo, you know how it works.
2-1 Villa.
2-1, but do you want to name his goal scorers?
Asensio and Rashford.
Hey, again, our January signings. You're not going to go too far wrong with that one.
I'll go 1-0 Villa.
It's a cagey game, crappy game.
Ollie Watkins.
Ideally.
I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to go 3-0. You know what? Ollie Watkins is going to get a little brace today, I feel, and John McGinn.
And John McGinn as well to come on there.
Oh, come on.
Little screaming, needs a goal. Come on.
Impact player that he is.
I know.
And another 3-0 win as well. I mean, it's become habit of late, hasn't it?
So.
Well, lads, thank you so much to the three of you for joining me, and to Alan McAnally, of course, as well, for tuning in from Charlotte. Now, that is us done on the social platforms for Villa, but make sure to head to Villa TV for live audio commentary from today's game. Mark Regan is your commentator alongside Tony Daly.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Villa TV. Welcome to Villa Park as well. Late kick-off beneath cloudless skies above B6 this afternoon, and it's a very, very important game as well. Aston Villa hosting Nottingham Forest today. One of the sides they've still got to play that are above them in the Premier League table. Nottingham Forest occupying third position as they go for a Champions League.